So let's look into the concept of connected and disconnected graphs. So I'm Mrs. Archana Priyadarshini, Assistant Professor in the Department of ISC, Canara Engineering College. So first of all, let's see the concept or definition of a connected graph. When we can say the graph G is connected, graph G is said to be connected if there exists a path, or if every pair of distinct vertices they are connected, then we can call the graph G as a connected graph. So if this is the graph, so that means for every pair of vertices there should be a connection. So there we call it as a connected graph. For example, if I take the graph of a connected graph, that is, see, for here also we have a connection. This is a connected graph, right? Between each and every pair of vertices there is an edge. So then we call it as a connected graph. Otherwise, G is called as a disconnected graph. And basically we know that there are certain conditions in order to say for a connected graph. That is, there must exist at least one path between every two vertices. There must exist at least one path between every two distinct vertices. Then we can say it as a connected graph. And it is said to be disconnected if there exists at least one pair of distinct vertices which have no path. Okay, then we can say it is a disconnected graph. And we can say the graph is connected if there exists at least one path between every two distinct pairs of vertices. And let's take an example. Let's say this is the graph with vertex V1, V2, and this is the graph V3. Here we have got V7, V6, V5, okay, and then we have got V4. So this is the graph. Is this a connected graph or a disconnected graph? We can observe that there exists a path between every two pairs of vertices. Okay. So next, if we take another graph, let me give you another example. Let's see whether this graph is connected or whether this graph is disconnected graph. Okay. So this is a particular diagram. And I have got another triangle here, V4, V5 and V6 respectively. So you can observe there is no connection between V1 to V4, right? There is no connection between V1 to V4 or between any other vertices of two different diagrams, right? Therefore it is a disconnected graph. It is purely a disconnected graph. So we can say that whenever we have got a non-trivial graph G which consists of one or more connected graphs, okay, each such connected graph is a subgraph and it is called as a component of G. So let me take this example to illustrate the component of G. So this graph has got two components, right? So this is one component, this is another component. It's like two graphs. Okay, and next talking about the walk, length of the walk. So we can say the length of the walk as the number of edges in a walk, that we call it as the length of the walk. Okay, next moving on to certain concepts or theorems related to connected graphs. If a graph has exactly two vertices of odd degree, okay, then there must be a path connecting those vertices. That is, if I have got a graph which consists of exactly two vertices of odd degree, So here can say this degree is odd. Okay, let's say this is the graph. So according to the theorem, we have got exactly 2 vertices of odd degree, right? Remaining other vertices, they have even degree, right? So if there is a graph that consists of exactly 2 vertices of odd degree, then there must be a path connecting these vertices. Yes, we can move from this path to this path, right? So there must be a path so that we can traverse from one point to the other point. Then we can say it is a path. So let us, if we can also prove this theorem. So let us denote the 2 vertices of odd degree as V1 and V2. And suppose there is no path connecting these. Let us assume the opposite. Let us assume that there is no path connecting these vertices. That means we cannot move from vertex V2 to V1 or V1 to V2. Then the graph is clearly disconnected, right? Yes. Now, and V1 and V2 obviously they belong to 2 different components if the graph is disconnected. Correct? Say, let's say H1 and H2. Now, each of H1 and H2 contains only one vertex of odd degree. That is, H1 contains vertex V1 of odd degree and H2 contains vertex V2 of odd degree, right? Degree is 1, right? So this is not possible because in H1 and H2, they are graphs, right? And in a graph, the number of vertices of odd degree is always even. We know that the sum of degrees of all the vertices of having odd degree must be even. Twice the number of edges, right? We have seen this in our previous discussions. And therefore there must be a path between vertex V1 and V2. So this is the proof. So what we have started is, according to the proof, if the graph has exactly 2 vertices of odd degree, then there must be a path between these 2 vertices. This is the theorem 1 pertaining to connected and disconnected graphs. If there are in a graph, if it has got exactly 2 vertices of odd degree, then there must be a path between these 2 vertices. And how do we prove is, we start with the 2 vertices, namely V1 and V2, denoting this 2 vertices having odd degree. And suppose we assume that there is no path between these 2 vertices, then the graph will be disconnected, and vertex V1 and V2, they belong to 2 different components, or we can say it as H1 and H2 respectively. And because each of H1 and H2 contains only one vertex of odd degree, okay, this is not possible, right? Because the number of vertices of odd degree in a graph must be, see, you can assume H1 and H2 are graphs, right? And if in a particular graph the number of vertex having odd degree always must be even according to the proof. But here this is not possible. Therefore, there must be a path connecting these 2 vertices. So this completes the proof. So next is, we'll move to the next theorem, that is a connected graph. A connected graph, I'll be just writing the definition of, or the proof theorem. So a connected graph with n vertices has at least n minus 1 edges. It has at least n minus 1 edges. So this is the theorem. So basically we are taking that there are n vertices, okay, in a graph, and we need to show that there are n minus 1 edges. So since we know that as a part of a proof, since we know that the graph is connected, that means the number of vertices is minimum 2, right? Minimum 2, or it can be more than 2 in a graph. So if m denotes the edges, number of edges, we have to prove that m is greater than or equal to n minus 1. Okay, for example, in this graph with just 2 vertices, m is 1, the number of edges are 1, and it is equal to number of vertices, that is 2 minus 1, 1 equals to 1, right? So we just use this concept in our proof. Let's assume that the number of vertices are 2, that is like this. Suppose there are 2 vertices, that is the n value is 2. Now then there are exactly 2 vertices in the graph, and since the graph is connected, there must be at least one edge joining these 2 vertices, right? Therefore m will be 1, and which holds for, see, the result is true, we have proved for n is equal to 2. Now we are assuming that the result holds for all the connected graphs with n is equal to k. We use the concept of mathematical induction. We start with the basis and then prove for induction step, wherein we are assuming that the result or the theorem is true for k vertices. And now we check for k plus 1 vertices. So let G k plus 1 be the graph with k plus 1 vertices. Okay. Now choosing a vertex v of the graph and consider the graph gk obtained by deleting an edge from gk plus 1. So how do we get graph gk from gk plus 1? We are going to delete one edge from gk plus 1 and get the graph gk, for which v is the end vertex. So then gk is a connected graph, right, with k vertices. Now let mk denote, so let me write it over here, let mk denote the number of edges in graph gk. Now according to the assumption, we know that number of edges is greater than or equal to the number of vertices minus 1. So if in a graph with in a gk graph, that means k with n vertices, n is equal to k here in a graph gk. So we know that the number of edges in the graph, let me denote it by mk, is greater than or equal to k minus 1, right? So consequently we can write it as mk. So just add, just you can write it in an equivalent form. So mk plus 1 is greater than or equal to k plus 1. So where mk plus 1 denotes the number of edges in the graph gk plus 1, and k plus 1 is the number of vertices in the graph gk plus 1. So thus the result m greater than equal to n minus 1, it holds for n is equal to k plus 1, which also holds for n is equal to k greater than or equal to 2. So by induction step, this completes the proof. That means it has been proved for the number of vertices equal to 2 as well as greater than or equal to 2. So this is the proof. So next theorem is, if G is a disconnected graph, okay, G is a disconnected graph and it happens to be disconnected if and only if its vertex set V can be partitioned into two disjoint non-empty subsets V1 and V2 such that there exists no edge in G whose one end vertex is in V1 and the other end vertex in V2. So this theorem is all about disconnected graphs, definition of disconnected graph. So the graph obviously is disconnected if its main vertex set is divided into two non-empty disjoint subsets V1 and V2 such that there exists no edge whose one end is in vertex V1 and the other end is in vertex V2. You can also take it as a part of a proof. So let's move to the questions under this concept. So let G be a graph with n vertices where n is even and greater than 2. Okay, if the degree of every vertex in G is half n minus 2, you are going to see that you need to disprove that G is connected? So this is the question. So let G be a graph with n vertices and where n is even, that is number of vertices are even, and it is greater than 2. If the degree of the vertex, every vertex in G is half n minus 2, so disprove that G is connected. So let us consider the disconnected graph like this. Okay, these two are disconnected graph. In this graph, how many vertices are there? Number of vertices are 6, right? Which is even. Number of vertices, n vertices, which is even. Okay, and it is greater than 2. Right? N value is 6 we have got from the graph and it's greater than 2. Now, we have to check the degree of every vertex. If the degree of every vertex is given to be half into n minus 2, what is this value? So, according to this graph, the degree of every vertex will be half into 6 minus 2, which is nothing but 2. Okay, so since we have shown that the degree of vertex is half n minus 2, we are going to disprove that G is connected. So clearly the graph has to be disconnected. Right? So this is the proof. So the next question is about if G is a simple graph with n vertices, in which degree of every vertex is at least n minus 1 by 2. Degree of every vertex is given to be n minus 1 by 2. You need to prove that graph G is connected. So how do we start with the proof? First of all, G is a simple graph and it consists of n vertices. And the degree of every vertex, if it is n minus 1 by 2, we have to prove that it is connected. So let us take any two vertices u and v in the graph G. So then they will be adjacent or they may not be adjacent. Right? So if they are adjacent, then clearly it is connected. Otherwise, each will have n minus 1 by 2 neighbors. For example, how many vertices are there? Here there are 2 vertices, right? So, if we are saying that there are 2 vertices u and v which are adjacent, then G will be a connected graph. Now, if we are taken u and v, they must have n minus 1 neighbors, right? If you take the 2 vertices u and v, they must have at least n minus 1 neighbors. That is, u will have 1 neighbor, okay, v will have 1 neighbor, that is u. So n refers to 2, number of vertices. Okay, each one of them will have at least n minus 1 neighbors. But since G has got total n vertices, then the total number of neighbors which u and v together will have is n minus 2 clearly. Right? How many neighbors each will have is taken together is n minus 2. Therefore, at least one vertex, say x, is a neighbor of both u and v. Correct? Now, there must be an edge between u and x. There must be an edge between x and v. Right? Since it is a neighbor and it is a simple graph, they must, if x is a neighbor, they must be connected to each other. That means there is a path between u and v. Correct? So, as such, G must be connected. So, we are taking this concept of neighbors in order to prove that the graph G is connected. So, let's first of all, for this proof, we are taking 2 vertices u and v, and if they are adjacent, then they must be connected. Otherwise, they will have at least n minus 1 by 2 neighbors. Okay, n minus 1 by 2 neighbors. So, because we know that if we take U and V together, how many neighbors they will have? How many neighbors they may have is, there are n vertices, it will be n minus 1 taken individual. If you take U and V together they may have n minus 2 neighbors, right? N minus 2 neighbors. Therefore, at least one vertex must be a neighbor of both, that is x. So if x is a neighbor, then there must be a path between these. So it is connected. So this is the proof. Let's take this question. Prove that if the connected graph remains connected after removal of an edge E from G, if and only if E is a part of a cycle. So let's assume a cycle in a graph and let us take an edge in the particular cycle with two vertices A and B. So now A and B, in spite of removal of this edge in the cycle, still we can have another path. This is one path from A to B, this is the other path, that is C minus C will be another path. So in spite of removal of this edge, we can have another path, therefore the graph still remains connected if you take the edge being a part of a cycle C in G. So the other way to prove this is, conversely we can take E is not a part of a cycle, like this we can take such a graph, E is not a part of a cycle. Now the end vertices A and B are connected by at most one path. So the removal of edge E from G disconnects these endpoints, right? We are left out with A and B vertices, that's all. So G minus E forms a disconnected graph. Thus, if E is not a part of a cycle, then graph G minus E is a disconnected graph. The next, see about Euler circuits and trails. So what is Euler circuit and what is a Euler trail? So you know what is meant by a circuit, right? So for the graph to be a Euler circuit, it should satisfy the circuit properties, that is, it should be a closed walk wherein the vertices must not be, we can say, for example, in this graph, let's take this graph. So we have this closed walk. So circuit means it should be a closed walk, right? Closed walk with start and end vertices are same. So in this closed walk, we can observe that the vertices are repeated. So that is possible in case of a circuit. The circuit is a closed walk in which vertex can appear more than once, but the edges should not be repeated. So this is a closed walk and it is a Euler circuit. Why Euler circuit? Because it is a circuit and which also satisfies the Euler circuit property, that is, it should include all the edges of the graph. So how many edges are there in this graph? E7. So all the edges are included, E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7. So all edges are included in the graph, therefore it is nothing but a Euler circuit. And a graph which is a Euler circuit is called as a Euler graph. Next is about Euler trail. So in this Euler trail, so a connected graph, okay, which is a Euler trail is called as a semi-Euler graph. And what is a Euler trail? So if there is a trail, as you know, it is an open walk, right? So let us consider this example, this graph. So this is a Euler trail which starts and ends at different vertices. So in order to be a Euler trail, it should be a trail and it should satisfy the property, that is, the vertices can be repeated and no edges should be repeated. So, but it should include all the edges, only then it forms a Euler trail. So you can observe that all the edges are included here as per this graph and there are vertices that is being repeated. Therefore, this is a Euler trail and the graph which is a Euler trail is called as a semi-Euler graph. So let's see the theorems based on this concept. So graph G has got a Euler circuit if and only if all the vertices are of even degree. So you can observe as per the example, each vertex, okay, vertex P is of even degree, that is 4. S is of even degree, it has got degree 2. Q is of even degree 2. R is of even degree, it's 4. T is of even degree 2. So now this is a Euler circuit as we have seen. So graph G has a Euler circuit if and only if all the vertices are of even degree. So this is what we see. Next theorem is it is said to be a Euler circuit if and only if G can be decomposed into edge disjoint cycles. Okay, edge disjoint cycles. So next let's see a problem related to this. So we are supposed to find out the number of positive integers for which the complete graph contains a Euler circuit. And we have to find out the value of n wherein the complete graph has a Euler trail but not a Euler circuit. So if we take an example for n value is equal to 2, that means there are two vertices which are connected by an edge. So this is graph K2, right? So it contains exactly one edge, and this edge together with this n vertices, we can say it is a trail, right? A, E1, B. So it is a trail, and moreover it is a Euler trail. It includes all the edges in the graph K2, right? So for n value is equal to 2, we get a trail. What if we take n value is equal to 3 or more than 3? We can observe that it is a closed walk, and it is nothing but a Euler circuit, right? So and this happens to be Euler circuit only if n minus 1 is even. That means here how many vertices are there? 3. So this happens if n minus 1 is even, or the number of vertices has to be odd. So for n greater than or equal to 3, number of vertices has to be odd. Only then we can get n minus 1 as even. And if we get n minus 1 as even, then we can say it is a Euler circuit. So we have proved for which value of Kn we are going to get a Euler trail, and for which value of n we are going to get a Euler circuit. The next question is, we have to check whether there exists a Euler graph with even number of vertices and odd number of edges. Okay, so let's take even number of vertices. I have drawn the graph here. Even number of vertices A, B, C, D, 4 vertices. We have taken this to be one circuit C, and let V be one of the vertices. We are denoting this vertex B as V. And let us consider a circuit C dash with odd number of vertices passing through V. Let's take another vertex, that is E. Okay, one vertex passing through this V. So this is one circuit C dash. So the C and C dash, it together forms another circuit called Q. And we observe that there are how many vertices? 4 vertices and 5 edges. That is odd number of edges as per the question, right? And still the graph is connected, and therefore we can say that it is a Euler graph. So such a graph is possible. So next, let's see the next question. They asked you to check whether we get a Euler graph with odd number of vertices and even number of edges. So we are taking odd number of vertices like this. So and let's take this as circuit C, and let's take another circuit C dash with odd number of vertices. Odd number of vertices like this. So another vertex, odd number of vertex. So circuit C dash, C and C dash together form a circuit, let's say Q, and this graph still remains connected. It is a Euler circuit, right? Therefore it is a Euler graph. So it is possible to have a Euler graph with both the conditions. So this is all about Euler circuits and Euler trails.